Good afternoon and welcome everyone to today's meeting on the Senate Committee on Revenue and Economic Development. Will the Secretary please proceed to call the roll?
Senator Cruz Crawford. Here. Senator Steinbeck. Here. Senator Stone. Here. Acting Chair John Nachi.
And I'm here, and please mark Senator Neal absent excused. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming today. Today, we do have an eventful meeting. We're going to do a few bill hearings, and we also have a work session. And so I'm going to go over just the semantics for those who would like to participate. So we are going to work first on doing the work session. So we have the work session on Senate Bill 451. That will be the first agenda item that we do first. And then we will go ahead and proceed with the bill hearings. I do have an announcement to make. We will not be doing the hearing on Senate Bill 430. And so that's the bill that revises provisions relating to taxation. If you are here for that bill today, unfortunately, we are not going to be doing the hearing for that bill. But it may come up in a future agenda item. But however, we are going to proceed with Senate Bill 431, which revises provisions relating to the excise tax on live entertainment. That will be the first bill hearing that we do, followed by Senate Bill 435, which revises provisions relating to nicotine products. And so hopefully that agenda item order can help you gauge as to when you're supposed to be in the room. For those that would like to participate, of course, you can sign in by the front desk just to keep a record. We are going to try to cap or make sure that the testimony is running smoothly, and so I may put a cap depending on where we gauge time. And then obviously, of course, as we're going through this, if you don't get the chance to speak today, you can always testify in writing in support or in opposition or in neutral of the bills. And then any of the information can be found on the Nevada Electronic Legislative Information System on NELIS. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start with the work session on Senate Bill 451. And so I will go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Tower.
Thank you, Chair. Christian Tower, Fiscal Analysis Division for the record. Before the committee today in work session is Senate Bill 451. Senate Bill 451 extends a property tax imposed to employ police officers with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. It's sponsored by Senator Canizaro and was heard in this committee on April 3rd. Senate Bill 451 provides for the continued imposition, use, apportionment, and administration of a property tax rate of 20 cents on each $100 of assessed value in unincorporated areas of Clark County and the city of Las Vegas, which was originally approved by voters at the November 1996 general election to be imposed for a period of 30 years for the employment of police officers with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department beginning July 1st, 2027 and ending June 30th, 2057. Sorry about that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Committee members, any questions on this bill? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and take a motion to do pass this bill.
Motion to do pass.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second with a comment.
We have a motion from Senator Cruz Crawford. We have a second from Senator Stone. Any discussion on this bill? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm very much in support of this bill and retaining the 800 plus officers. There were some requests for some amendments, and which I think are important amendments that I'm hoping will continue to be negotiated and inserted in the bill. So I'm going to be supporting the bill today with the option to change it if necessary, although I don't believe that's going to happen.
Thank you so much. Any other comments? Senator Steinbeck.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I ditto Senator Stone's comments, the same requirement, same situation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other discussion? Moving on to the vote of do pass. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Motion's carried, and I'll go ahead and assign that floor statement to Senator Canizaro. That concludes our work session for today, and so now we will go ahead and move on to the bill hearings. And so at this time, I will go ahead and open the bill hearing for Senate Bill 431. This bill revises provisions relating to the excise tax on live entertainment, and I will go ahead and invite Senator Neal to present virtually. So please begin when you're ready, Senator.
Thank you, Committee on Senate Revenue. I am Senator Dina Neal. I'm not going to be on camera today. And I'm here to present SB 431. This is my third time bringing this bill. This has been more of a policy conversation about making sure that there is tax parity in the state of Nevada. The reason why I keep bringing the bill that removes the exemption related to the sports teams is that when I first tried it, I brought the bill before there was ever a first Raiders game. Then I brought the bill again in 2023, and then they said, no, let us have the Super Bowl first. Now the Super Bowl is passed, and now we're at the third iteration of having this conversation around removing the exemption around sports teams, professional sports teams that excludes the actual amateur teams, is because we need to have a conversation about tax parity. The reason why I am pushing for tax parity is, number one, gaming pays the LET. They pay it at 9%. There are some caveats and exceptions, but they pay the 9% rate. We are now creating a whole industry that has grown in significant ways that are not only receiving taxpayer benefits from the state, but they're basically in the position where they're saying, I don't want to pay the live entertainment tax. Yet they are becoming a large taxpayer in the state of Nevada. So my question has always been on the policy of revenue is, why do others have to pay and not you? And so I brought this bill again because I wanted to have this conversation around who should be in and who should be out, why individual companies and corporations such as sports teams feel that they don't have to pay the 9% that is being paid by one of our largest taxpayers, which happens to be the resorts. The bill also has included, which has been the second time, going after the ticket resellers who have been dominating the market and basically reselling tickets at a higher rate and causing the state not to receive revenue from those tickets sold. If you guys remember, this has been a common, instance where the Taylor Swift concert that happened a few years ago, where the tickets sold for tens and thousands of dollars. And the question that was posed at the time was, how is it that we can have these ticket resellers in the market, yet we are not collecting that revenue, nor do we have any statutory provisions that are trying to make sure that they are being captured and that behavior is being limited in regards to reselling tickets that are not from the original seller. And so I'm having this conversation again, knowing that we are in an environment in the state where we need revenue. The bill as written would produce, with the ticket resale and the exemption, would give the state about $54.5 million annually, which is much needed revenue for the state in order to continue to serve the citizens of Nevada in an environment where we are not clear on where we are with the federal changes and whether or not things may be adjusted in regards to the needs of the state and needing revenue in order to take care of the citizens. But my major policy position on SB 431 is tax parity. And so with those opening comments, I'll just quickly highlight certain sections of the bill. I know I'm bringing a controversial bill for the third time, and I apologize to the committee who will sit through lots and lots of opposition. But I also want you to take note of a third part of this bill, which is new, and the amendment that should be in front of you on 431, where I'm trying to do a public good by removing the exemption of the live entertainment tax on sports teams to help pay for public transit. I'm going to talk about that amendment first before I get into the section of the bill. I think it's important for you guys to read that amendment because public transit in the South, in Southern Nevada, has been a big issue. It has been an issue where our citizens are faced with challenges of getting to work when we have large sports events. One, for example, which was the Formula One. We all know everything that happened in Formula One, which caused pretty much no one to be able to go anywhere on the strip. But outside of what happened with Formula One, citizens are complaining that they have an inability to go to and from the resort corridor to get to work. Why this is a problem is because we actually need to add additional funding to public transit. Why I'm using the LET, because there is a direct nexus between the sports activity that is going on in Las Vegas and the inability to move to and from pretty much the city to get to work. And so it just seemed like a natural nexus to have that conversation to make sure that the LET was going to be applied to public transit and also be used to attempt to pay for it. And so you guys can process that amendment. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions on why that's necessary. But with that, I'm going to get into the bill. So just really high level, if you look at section pretty much 1, 2, well, really 2, 3 through 4 and 5, we're really creating definitions. What is a marketplace facilitator? What is a marketplace seller? What is defined as resale in the market? And then also what is a reseller, which is section 6. When you get into section 7, it's basically talking about what are the collection and what would be the imposition of the tax associated that would apply to a marketplace facilitator. That it would apply in the calendar year to the cumulative gross receipts of those retail sales in the live entertainment market. And then it also then goes on and explains which is our standard and adopted language that we've had since 2019 on marketplace facilitator, that it applies to 200 sales or more, which has been currently in statute since 2019 and has not been adjusted or changed. When you go into section 8, it further defines whether the liability around a marketplace facilitator when there is a reseller that is not an affiliate. And then we have in section 9, it talks about what the division, responsibility is related to the division of the Department of Taxation and what their responsibilities are related to the collection of this tax. And then the bill further goes on into section 10 to talk about what's the remedy and the right of private action related to a marketplace facilitator. And then we have our exemption related to in section 12, when we're talking about the live entertainment tax and how it's provided the reseller with respect to that tax and how it's imposed and when it would be due. And then in continuing on in section 13, it's just more explanation related to when the tax would be applied on the initial sale of admission, et cetera, et cetera. And the rest of the bill just basically gives the effective date, which would be January 1st of 2026 for all of the purposes, but passage and approval for purposes of adopting regulations immediately in order to try to get the ball started. So with that, Chair Dunyate, I will open myself up for questions, knowing that I'm bringing a controversial piece of legislation for the 3rd time, because I apparently love to keep engaging in revenue policy where I'm trying to figure out how to generate revenue for the state of Nevada.
Thank you so much, Chair Neal. Let's go to questions from committee members. Give you some time to digest it. No questions? Senator Stone.
Thank you for the presentation, Senator Neal. My understanding is that the LET exemption to Nevada professional sports teams was to attract them here. Removing the ticket tax continues to be an effective incentive, especially when we're trying to recruit like an NBA team. Are we setting a bad precedent by eliminating that predictability for our Nevada tenant teams that are already here? And again, teams that we're trying to attract to Nevada.
Thank you, Senator Stone, for the question. My response is no, I don't think that we are somehow flipping the coin. I think I could take that argument in the reverse and say that we're giving predictability and tax parity to the state. I guess I've always had the question of why do certain entities need to be removed from certain tax, they might call them tax burdens in the state of Nevada in order to create or exist in Nevada. And that's been a longstanding question of who should be in and who should be out. And that's why I started with the initial policy statement that why is the resorts responsible for paying the LET, MBT, sales tax, and all the other taxes that are associated with it, but yet the sports teams do not have to pay the LET. I think the question is, where's the equality and where's the parity? Can you still grow by paying the LET? We collect the LET on the concert that happens inside of the stadium, but why can't it be on the game itself?
Thank you for that answer. And then if I can switch gears a little bit, why is it necessary to impose the LET on ticket resales, and how much additional revenue do you think would be generated by doing this?
So on the ticket resale provision of the bill, which ticket resale, StubHub and the different marketplaces that are resellers, it's actually a $12 million annual benefit that the state would receive and the Department of Taxation would be able to collect. Those are the estimates if we actually regulated the ticket reseller. I'm sure we could come up with many ways in which we could apply $12 million annually to the general fund.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Seeing none? Oh, all right. Senator Neal, I think we're good with questions, and I'm sure we'll have questions coming through the hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot, if it's okay, to testimony. So let's go ahead and start with support testimony. So if you are in support of this bill, you can go ahead and come forward. We are going to try to limit it to 20, just because we have another bill hearing after this. So 20 minutes in support, 20 minutes in opposition, and 20 minutes in neutral in total. Obviously, it's still 2 minutes per person each. And so if you would like to testify in support of this bill, we ask for folks to please come forward. And that's both here in Carson City and in Las Vegas. So again, if you're in support of this bill, please come forward. And we'll begin here in Carson City. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Hector Ariola, and I am the Policy Fellow with the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition. We are a statewide coalition of community organizations fighting for sustainability, justice, and equity in all levels of government decision-making. Together, we build people power through grassroots organizing and policy advocacy. I'm here in full support of Senate Bill 431. We've listened to over 1,200 Nevadans, women afraid of waiting at dark bus stops, workers terrified of losing their jobs because late buses, students sacrificing sleep and study time just to get to class. This isn't just about inconvenience, it's about dignity, safety, and survival. Our public transportation is the lifeline to our community. It provides mobility to our essential workers. A former college student shared about rushing to the bus stop right after his classes at UNLV to his job on Bonanza and Nellis, spending 15 hours a week commuting. That's the equivalent of a part-time job. He studied and got his work done on the bus because he had no other choice. At times, buses wouldn't show up and had no other choice but to walk miles to get to work. Right now, 950,000 jobs in Las Vegas are a 30-minute drive, but only 11,000 are reachable by transit, and for rural areas, it's even worse. The RTC of Southern Nevada is on the brink of cutting services because they lack funding. Without Senate Bill 431, things will only get worse. This bill offers a smart, equitable solution. Reforming the live entertainment tax to re-include sports teams will help keep current bus routes running and expand services without passing the burden to our most vulnerable communities. Thank you for your time and dedication to the people of our state.
Hi, my name is Winona Freed. I am with Rise Your Future USA and also a volunteer for PLAN. I live in Senate District 12. I'm in support of Bill SB 431 to fund public transportation through taxing sports teams. My dad lives in Vegas along with my immediate family. My vehicle became unreliable last year and I did not have the money to fix it. I could not drive to my dad and my dad couldn't find reliable public transportation to visit his grandkids. We felt incredibly lonely and isolated in this desert, distant from those we love. My dad was forced to spend his days alone until I had enough money to replace my car. During that year of my car on the verge of death, my concern was, how am I going to get my elementary school age kid to school if it officially breaks? My kid's school bus stop is a 30+ minute walk on a busy sunny road that doesn't have any space between the sidewalk and the speeding cars. I looked into taking public transportation, but it was not viable. If my kid missed school, they would have been kicked out of her school. I was also incredibly stressed with the thought of how would I go grocery shopping. I have a herniated disc in my spine, so simply riding a bike on the dangerous roads around my home was not an option. Living on the edge of my family's lives falling apart is no way to live. These sports teams want to act like they are a part of the community, so let them be and pay their fair amount and contribute to the community. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jaira Mendez, YAJAIRA Good afternoon, Senator members. I'm here today to advocate and support SB 431. I'm a proud member of Make the Road Nevada. I can fully support SB 431, a bill sponsored by Senator Neal, which can fund public transportation through tax for sports team and live entertainment by 1% to form LED. Due to my sickness battling cancer, I have used and depend on public transportation to get to and from treatment as well as medical appointments. 99% of the time I have to wait for about 40 minutes to an hour for the public transportation. Las Vegas has only few selected bus runnings, making wait time longer with no shade, cool areas, or benches. People like myself and the elders have to wait standing in the sun for hours during the summer. I have experienced heat stroke during extreme weather conditions, ranking up my medical debt simply for not having any cool areas or shade to rest at. I urge you to please support the bill to ensure that we provide better quality, easier access to public transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olivia Tanager, Director of the Sierra Club's Toyabe chapter. For the record, we're also a member of the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition, and I want to note on the record that today is Environmental Justice Lobby Day. A lot of the fine folks behind me are community members who are here to advocate for better public transportation in their communities. We believe that public transportation is one of the best investments that we can make in this state. It makes our communities safer, healthier, helps folks get to work on time, helps prevent medical illnesses from folks who might have to walk or bike long distances because they don't have access to personal vehicles. So with that, we think this is a great investment for the state to make in public transportation and getting more revenue into the state, making our community safer and cleaner. Thank you.
My name is Aisha Goins, AESHAGOINS. I'm here on behalf of SEIU 1107. Thank you, Chair and Committee. SEIU supports this bill. We believe that proper funding for our communities is vital. Many of these events depend on public infrastructure for attendees to arrive. They should be equally invested to ensure a well-funded public transit system. Thank you very much. We support this bill.
There we go. Good afternoon, committee. My name is Shonda Johnson. I'm here on behalf of Faith in Action, a statewide organization that works with communities of faith to impact systems change in the state of Nevada. I'm here on behalf of Faith in Action in support of SB 431 for the impact it will have on state revenue to improve public transportation. Removing the exemption will increase state revenue to improve public transportation, a vital necessity for working families. It's especially needed at a time when the rising costs of living in the state are forcing families to cut costs wherever and however they can. A reliable transportation system will help our most vulnerable people in the state. I urge you to support SB 431. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. My name is Brenda Zamora. That's BRENDA-ZAMORA. I am the Deputy Director with Make It Work Nevada. We are a proud member of the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition. We are here in strong support of SB 431. So we are a reproductive justice organization, and we talk about one of our pillars, which is raising children in a safe environments with resources, and being able to provide these resources for our transportation department will be very helpful. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Melly Paluai, and I'm a Las Vegas resident and community advocate speaking in support of SB 431. This bill is a step forward towards fairness and equity. Sports teams benefit from our state's resources and cause major disruptions to our streets and transit systems, but they currently pay nothing into the live entertainment tax. SB 431 changes that and redirects a portion of this revenue to where it's desperately needed, public transportation. For many in our community, especially low-income, elderly and disabled residents, public transit is incredibly useful and necessary, but right now it's unreliable, unsafe, and inaccessible. People are missing work, school, and appointments because the system is broken. Investing in transit means investing in dignity, opportunity, and safety. This bill will help us build a more connected, equitable Las Vegas for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's take a quick pause, go down to Las Vegas, and then we'll go to the phone lines.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Pastor Marlon Anderson. That's MARLON ANDERSON. And I am a clean energy community organizer for Faith Organizing Alliance. And as a representative of FOA, I want to say many residents depend on public transit for access to work, school, healthcare, and essential services. Yet current conditions hinder daily life and limit opportunities. SB 431 would reform the live entertainment tax to include revenue from sports teams and designate that 1% of the revenue to the regional transportation commissions. This investment will help improve service quality, safety, and accessible for all riders, particularly women, rural residents, and strip workers impacted by event-related delays, while building public confidence. Redirecting LET revenue is not only practical, but it's just. The tax is generating millions more than expected, and using it to support public transportation creates sustainable funding source without burdening the taxpayers. Lastly, improved transit infrastructure will reduce traffic congestion, lower emissions, and increase economic opportunity by connecting more Nevadans to employment, especially in areas where job access by bus is currently limited. On behalf of the community I serve, and on behalf of Faith Organizing Alliance, we ask that you support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. AVH, let's go online, please.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 431, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Thank you, Chair. There are no callers wishing to testify in support at this time.
Thank you so much. Let's continue here in Carson City.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. For the sake of time, I'll keep this brief. My name is Tristan St. Dennis. That's TRYSTINST.DENIS. I am the Policy Associate with the Nevada Conservation League. We just wanted to echo our support and urge you to support this bill. Thank you.
Hello and thank you, Assembly. My name is Mixie. It's spelled M-I-X-S-I, Joanne Paredes, P-A-R-E-D-E-S. And the ever-growing city of Las Vegas, public transportation needs to catch up. By investing in this bill, it expands public transportation options, will also reduce dependence on personal vehicles, which in return can reduce traffic congestion and carbon emissions. Furthermore, accessibility to public transportation, affordable transportation with enhanced safety can potentially reduce DUIs in Las Vegas. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair Doniate and members of the committee. My name is Liz Becker, Lizbecker, and I'm testifying today on behalf of the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada and as a member of the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition. I second the comments of the others testifying in support. We agree with Senator Neal. Why are we exempting certain categories of events from this vital source of revenue? Just today, I took the bus to the airport from the South Strip transfer terminal in Las Vegas. But I had to drive there from my home in the northwest part of town, as the Centennial Express route does not start early enough in the morning to get someone to the airport in time for a 7 a.m. flight. On game days, many people in the northwest take a very convenient direct route to Raiders and Golden Knights games. Locals going to work and appointments deserve the same reliable and timely routes. This bill will ensure that more funding goes to RTC, and we are in full support. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Chair and Senators. Thank you for the work that you do. My name is Genesis Ibarra, spelled GenesisIbarra, and I'm an organizer with Climate Action Nevada. From the age of 8, my mom would take me with her to work, to her college, to the library via bus, and I remember feeling sick in the extreme heat during our long walks. Last week, I spoke to a young mother who has a very similar story, and it broke my heart listening to her story and thinking that 20 years later, these issues in our transportation system in Nevada still exist. That being said, please remove this tax exemption. They don't need more tax breaks, but the people of Nevada do need better transportation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else willing to testify in support of this bill? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the support testimony and move on to opposition to the bill. So if you are opposed to this bill, please come forward now. And we'll start here in Carson City. You may begin.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Alfredo Alonso, today on behalf of the Vegas Golden Knights. Just as a little history, when the Golden Knights were basically an idea, the commissioner basically came to us and said, we don't have ticket taxes in any other state in the country. It's very important that we keep that for the purposes of bringing this team, and in fact told us that the team would not be awarded to Las Vegas if we did have a ticket tax. Their concern was our concern, which is keeping tickets and prices as low as possible for your typical family of 4. And again, it's a very difficult task in today's environment, but again, that is still an important issue for the Golden Knights, and I think all the professional sports teams. Obviously, we feel for everybody here. Transportation is something that needs to be improved, but linking the average person's ticket price to transportation is something that I'm not 100% sure makes sense. And again, we've had this debate before, and I thank Senator Neal for always allowing us to have the discussion. She is very passionate about what she does, and we applaud her for that. But we unfortunately will stand in opposition.
Mr. Alonso, can I just ask a quick clarifying question? So just to be clear, I know we've had this discussion in the 2023 legislative session. I think Senator Neal made that clear. The opposition is to removing the exemption in the portion of the bill. Is it to the other portions that deal with the resale, or is it just specifically on the exemption?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Alfredo Alonso again. Yes, it's just on the exemption. It's, again, it raises our customers' tickets, and it's a significant amount.
Got it. So there's no issue with the other portions that deal with the resale from the clients that you're speaking about with this opposition today, just to be clear.
Mr. Chairman, again, Alfredo Alonso, they have not indicated any opposition to that portion of it, no.
Thank you so much, sir. Any other folks looking to testify in opposition to this bill? Seeing none here, I see one in Las Vegas. You may begin.
Thank you so much, Chair and the committee members on Revenue and Economic Development. My name is Anahita Baghshetsan. For the record, that is ANAHITBAGHSHETSYN, and I'm a research assistant at Nevada Policy. Today, Nevada Policy comes in opposition of SB 431. I think it's not hard to decode that at the core of this bill is a double taxation scheme. Under the current law, the 9% live entertainment tax is already collected at the time of an original ticket purchase. So if passed, SB 431 would now allow to extend that tax at every single subsequent sale, regardless of whether the tax was initially paid or not. So this means on the purchase of the same exact ticket, both the seller and the purchasers will now be having to pay a tax 2 times, 3 times, or maybe even 4 times. And then subsequently, as we heard, the current exception of Nevada-based professional sports teams encourages participation both of the consumers and the sports teams in the entertainment market. And by taking this exemption away, we're discouraging consumer and sports team participation. So inflating prices through double taxation and penalizing legitimate secondary sales, it will be harder for families and local Nevada residents to participate in the market and help entertainment creators. For those reasons, we urge the committee to oppose this legislation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I just want to clarify that the bill provisions only look at the delta, and it's not on the whole provision of the resale. So I just want to make sure that that was clear. Anyone else that looks to testify in opposition to this bill? AVH, is there anyone online?
If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 431, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Caller, please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, for this opportunity to testify today. My name is Eric Edelstein. I'm representing the Reno Aces minor league professional baseball team. We strongly oppose Section 13 of Senate Bill 431, which eliminates the existing exemption for professional sports teams from live entertainment tax. The exemption was originally created for minor league baseball teams in the state and has been enjoyed since the Reno Aces have been in existence since 2009. The exemption was essential in the city of Reno attracting a AAA baseball team and has been critical in helping us keep ticket prices affordable and accessible to our community. Not all professional sports teams are the same. Minor league baseball teams like the Reno Aces depend almost entirely on in-person attendance for our business. Ticket sales, concessions, and local partnerships are the foundation of our business. Section 13 threatens that foundation and puts our ability to sustainably operate and serve our community at risk. Removing this exemption forces us to raise ticket prices, potentially reducing attendance and weakening the family-friendly, community-driven atmosphere that defines Reno Aces baseball. For many families in Northern Nevada, even a small increase in price would make it harder to attend games, cutting them off from one of the most affordable entertainment options in our region. Lower attendance would also impact surrounding local businesses that rely on game day traffic for their own businesses. We urge lawmakers to preserve the LET exemption for professional sports teams and reconsider the broader consequences of Section 13 on local economies, fans, and the future of minor league baseball in Nevada. Thank you.
Chair, the public line is open and working. There are no callers wishing to testify in opposition at this time.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to neutral testimony. If you are here for neutral, please come forward. You may begin.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair Donate and committee members. For the record, Becky Dutro, DUTRO with Nevada Taxpayers Association. The association is neutral on this bill. However, we would like to emphasize the importance of adhering to guiding tax principles when evaluating sound tax policy. Taxes should be simple and equitable as well as transparent. Taxpayers should know the tax exists and how and when it is imposed on them and others. We encourage the committee to ensure that good practice is followed and unintended double taxation does not occur. We understand the intent on capturing the lost tax on the increased sale price of the resale. However, should keep in mind that the live entertainment tax on the initial sale has already been paid, and to ensure that applying the additional LET is only on the increase or decrease of the resale, the delta, to curb double taxation on the end consumer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other neutral testimony? I don't see anyone here in Las Vegas AVH. Is there anyone online?
If you'd like to testify in neutral for SB 431, please press *9 now to take your place in the queue.
Hi, Senator. This is Peter Guzman, president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. Was having phone issues. I wanted to go in opposition of the bill, and I just want to echo my colleague Alfredo Alonso's comments. That is the exact reason why the Latin Chamber, in the current stage, is opposed to this bill.
If you've recently joined and would like to testify in neutral for SB 431, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, the public line's open and working. There are no additional callers at this time.
Thank you so much. I don't know if Senator Neal, if you're still here, if you want to provide any closing comments.
I am. Thank you. I would like to provide closing comments. Thank you. First off, I want to say thank you to the community organizations that came out in support. I also want to thank the opposition. I've never shied away from opposition, but I also think having debate on tax policy and discussion on how to generate revenue to serve the citizens of Nevada and to provide services is a very important conversation. It is something that every session I attempt to have and move to push the needle so that we can continue to reflect on where we were, where we are, and where we need to go. Because if we don't have the conversation around revenue, which is used to serve and provide services to our citizens, then we're always saying there's not enough. And part of the purpose of the Senate Committee on Revenue is to have those conversations, whether or not they're controversial or not. And I just appreciate, number one, the bill being heard today and being able to have that conversation. I do want to further explore the resale portion of this bill if there are individuals that are interested, because either way, we need to pay for public transit. Whether or not it's taxing by removing the exemption of LET, which would create tax parity, which is an important goal, or on the resale of tickets, which is an unregulated piece and that's happening in the state that would generate $12 million. I am a super advocate of public transit. It needs to be paid for. And so I'm grateful that the community can have that conversation and really come out and oppose what would be the large corporations, and the communities could have their say around what they need, because that is the purpose of this legislature, is to hear from our people. And so thank you for having this hearing, and I appreciate any future conversations on other portions of the bill and public transit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Neal. At this time, we're going to go ahead and close the hearing on Senate Bill 431, and we will move into recess until our co-presenters can be here for the next bill. Welcome back from recess. We are going to go ahead and begin or continue the meeting with Senate Bill 435. This bill revises provisions relating to nicotine products, and so I will go ahead and invite Senator Canizaro, to our Majority Leader, to please come forward and begin when you have your co-presenters ready.
Thank you, Vice Chair Doñate, members of the Senate Revenue and Economic Development Committee. For the record, my name is Nicole Canizaro. I proudly represent the Senate District 6 in the northwest portion of the Las Vegas Valley and obviously serve as your Senate Majority Leader. I'm very pleased to be here with all of you today. I am pleased to present Senate Bill 435, which revises provisions relating to certain nicotine products. The use of vapor products, or commonly referred to or known as e-cigarettes or vapes, has increased significantly in recent years, especially among young people. While marketed as an alternative to traditional smoking, these products have raised public health concerns due to their appeal to minors and unknown long-term health effects. Moreover, regulatory and enforcement gaps have allowed some e-cigarette manufacturers to sell products that have not gone through proper United States Food and Drug Administration or FDA approval, or worse, intentionally avoid federal oversight altogether. Nevada already maintains a certification process and directory for cigarette manufacturers. However, no such equivalent system currently exists for vapor products. Senate Bill 435 seeks to fill that gap by establishing a framework that mirrors our tobacco oversight process, but is tailored specifically to the vapor product industry, ensuring illicit vapor products are not sold in the state. Several other states, including Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin, have implemented similar directories. Directories are also under consideration in several other states, highlighting the need for legislation that provides law enforcement and retailers with a vital resource to fight against companies targeting children with e-cigarettes. With your allowance, Mr. Vice Chair, I would like to walk through just some points and provisions within the bill. And so, Sections 3, 4, and 5 define certain terms for purposes of implementing the provisions of this bill, including vapor product, which is defined as any non-combustible product containing nicotine that can be used to produce vapor to simulate smoking. Section 6 requires manufacturers of vapor products sold in Nevada to submit a certification to the Attorney General by August 1st of each year, ensuring compliance with federal law. Each product must meet one of the following criteria. It has received a marketing granted order from the FDA. It has submitted a timely filed pre-market tobacco product application that is still under FDA review. It is not required to receive a marketing granted order or submit a pre-market tobacco product application because the product merely underwent a cosmetic change, such as packaging or branding, or it can demonstrate that it is temporarily exempted by the FDA. Manufacturers must also list each product's brand name, category, and flavor, and pay a $2,000 fee for new products and a $1,000 fee for renewals. The information submitted by the manufacturer is considered confidential. Section 7 requires vapor product manufacturers to notify the Attorney General no later than 30 days after any material change to the certification. Section 8 directs the Attorney General to create and maintain a public directory of certain vapor products and their manufacturers. Section 9 requires the Attorney General to notify vapor product manufacturers and provide them with an opportunity to cure any deficiency before removing the manufacturer or any vapor products from the directory. Section 10 prohibits vapor products not included in the directory from being sold in this state. Sections 11 and 12 require non-resident and foreign manufacturers of vapor products to appoint an agent in this state for service of process and submit a bond payable to the state in the amount of $25,000. Section 13 provides for annual unannounced compliance checks on each retailer, distributor, and wholesaler of vapor products in the state. Section 14 provides civil penalties for selling or offering for sale any vapor product not included in the directory. Section 15 requires the Attorney General to prepare and submit to the Legislature an annual report regarding the directory. Section 16 requires the Attorney General to adopt regulations to carry out the provisions of Sections 2 through 16. Section 17 authorizes the seizure of any cigarette, tobacco product, vapor product, or alternative nicotine product sold by a person without a license. Section 18 prohibits a person from selling, giving, delivering, or furnishing to a person a nicotine analog and defines the term nicotine analog for such purposes. A sheriff or other peace officer must provide written notification of any such seizure, including reasoning, to the Department of Taxation no later than 5 working days after the seizure. Section 19 authorizes the seizure of such products if sold, distributed, or offered for sale to a person under 21 years of age. A sheriff or other peace officer must provide written notification of any such seizure, including reasoning, to the Department of Taxation no later than 5 working days after the seizure. Section 20 authorizes the Department of Taxation to share information obtained in investigations with federal, state, or local agencies for purposes of enforcement or corresponding laws of other states. Section 21 exempts certain information provided in a certification executed and delivered pursuant to Section 6 from the requirement that the public records and public books be open to inspection. In closing, I want to thank the committee for allowing me the time to present this bill, and I would like to note that Senate Bill 345 really does ensure that Nevada has the proper tools necessary to hold vapor product manufacturers accountable for purposefully avoiding regulations, and it seeks to protect public health. And while that is not necessarily an endorsement, certainly, of vapor products, I think we're all readily familiar with some of the health concerns that are, contributed to the use of such products. I do think that there is a conversation that this body should have in how it is that we are regulating those types of products, knowing that they are out there and that people are using them. And so I would urge your support for Senate Bill 435. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. I do have, I think, some support in the audience in case I may need to phone a friend to help answer any technical questions that the committee may have. And so with your permission, Mr. Vice Chair, I would love to take any questions from the committee.
Thank you so much. Committee members, do you have any questions? No? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Majority Leader, for the presentation. I really appreciate it. Can you just describe the need for the certifications system?
Thank you for the question, Senator Stone. Through you, Mr. Vice Chair, to Senator Stone, Nicole Cannizzaro, Senate District 6. So part of the reasoning, and I will definitely allow for any additional information that might be needed if I miss anything with respect to the certification. The reasoning for that is that there are certain processes that some of the manufacturers go through with respect to products through the FDA to get those products certified. We want to make sure that we have that on our end from the state perspective to have those products certified so that the Attorney General in their enforcement piece can identify those products, make sure that we have an accurate directory, make sure that we're able to sort of know what is out there, what should be out there, and to really tamp down on any products that are either purposefully seeking or are not going through all of those other regulatory processes that really are designed to the extent that we can here, keep people safe who are using these types of products. And so that really is, I think, in summation, the purpose of the certification, and obviously happy to answer any other particular technical questions, but I think the whole intent of this is to make sure that we have folks who are complying with current ongoing regulatory processes that are in place.
Any other questions or comments? All right, let's open it up for testimony. So we'll go ahead and begin with support testimony for this bill. Again, same requirement, 2020 for each section. So we'll go ahead and start here in Carson City. If there's anyone in Las Vegas that would like to testify in support, you can come forward as well and fill the seats. Let's start here in Carson City.
Chair and members of the committee, for the record, Thomas Morley, ThomasMorley, I'm sorry. Representing Teamsters 631, Laborers 169, we're in support.
For the record, my name is Mark Ellis, MARC-ELLIS, President of Communication Workers of America, Local 9413, and as a father of 2 teenage sons, we strongly support this bill.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Nick Schneider, Director of Government Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. We're here as well in support of SB 4035 as it provides additional protections for Nevada's youth as well as for the good actors within the industry by reining in some of those bad actors. Thank you so much for your time.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. My name is Maria Teresa Hank, H-A-N-K. I'm with Transport Workers Union Local 556, and as a mother of 4 kids, I highly support this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, committee members. My name is Adrian Hunt, A-D-R-I-A-N-H-U-N-T. I represent the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. We support SB 435 because of the harmful effects and unknown risks of illegal vapes. This directive will give us the foundation to track bad actors in this business. We thank the bill sponsors for introducing this important legislation to our state. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. Jason Walker, J-A-S-O-N-W-A-L-K-E-R, representing the Washington County Sheriff's Office. The Washington County Sheriff's Office is proud to be an excellent community partner, is happy to provide our support for this bill.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. My name is John Abel, J-O-H-N-A-B-E-L, represent the LVPPA. SB 435 strikes the balance between regulation and enforcement, equipping law enforcement with the necessary authority to combat illegal sales and protecting public health. We urge the committee to pass this bill and support our officers in keeping the community safe. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair and members of the committee. For the record, Miranda Hoover with 3C House, representing the Energy and Convenience Association of Nevada. This bill is a critical step in keeping vape products out of the hands of children and ensuring that only legal, FDA-approved products are available in the marketplace. Our association represents responsible retailers who believe in doing the right thing, and that means selling only compliant products and protecting our youth from harmful, unregulated items. Right now, too many unapproved vaping products are slipping through the cracks, undermining public health and undermining the FDA process that all legal products have gone through. SB 435 provides the tools necessary to enforce federal law and create a safer, more transparent marketplace for all Nevadans. We fully support this bill and thank Senator Cannizzaro, the co-sponsors, and the stakeholders for their leadership on this important issue, and I urge the committee to pass SB 435. Thank you.
Oh, your mic. There you go.
Thank you. Chair and members of the committee, my name is Jennifer Wade, a Nevada Regional Sales Manager here today on behalf of Harbor Wholesale to ask you to support Nevada State Bill 435, a vapor product directory bill. Harbor is a family-owned and operated food distributor that has been serving convenience stores, neighborhood markets, and quick-serve restaurants since 1923. We supply over 120 stores in Nevada and have had a long-standing commitment of giving back to support the communities where we operate, live, and work. We believe a vapor product directory is necessary because it will help wholesalers and retailers across Nevada understand what products can be compliantly sold in our state. We take our responsibilities as a wholesaler very seriously. Licensed wholesalers like us have an integral role in the regulated system. In addition to collecting taxes, we are proud of the ways we help ensure tobacco products are responsibly distributed and sold. We need your help establishing a list of compliant vapor products so that we can ensure we are successful in our mission by only selling compliant legal products. Without such a list, it is next to impossible for wholesalers and retailers across the state to know what products are legal to sell and what products are not. With cigarettes, we have a directory that clearly outlines which products can be sold. It enables wholesalers and retailers to operate and compete with confidence. I need something similar for vapor. I have brought copies of the directory lists from Alabama and Louisiana for you to see. They both have hundreds of vapor products made by big and small manufacturers. Having a similar list would be helpful for Nevada wholesalers like Harbor who want to follow the law. Please support Senate Bill 435. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair Donate. Peter Kruger for the record with I3 Public Affairs speaking in support of Senate Bill 435. I've got 20 years experience representing tobacco retailers and manufacturers, and I want to share what I believe are the important elements that my colleague just addressed is giving retailers a directory, a vapor directory, just as you've heard. We have such a thing for cigarettes. It works well. It's been on the books for years, and it's something that we need here in this space as well. Vapor is the largest tobacco category in the United States, and it's currently, in our estimation, my estimation, in disarray. The vapor market has been flooded with flavor products that are clearly in violation, illegal under FDA guidelines. This weekend, I went out on Sunday and purchased in Sparks and Reno. There are 3 of them here that if these don't, in your estimation, address youth, here's one that actually has a video game assigned to it. There are hundreds of these products that flood our market, and the vape directory is the only thing that can help our retailers know to sell the correct product and not products that are illegal. We have situations where you're liable to hear from the opposition retailers that this kind of a directory will put their business at risk. Well, my answer to that is if selling illegal products is your business model, then I think you probably, in my estimation, ought to rethink that business model. So, the other piece that I want to add is that all of these 3 here and hundreds of others are imported from China. And when one product is deemed by the FDA or other reputable sources or legal sources as illegal, they simply change the name of the product and continue to market it. So, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee, we urge you to process this bill. I just became aware there is an amendment that I haven't fully gathered and understood, but there's one piece in here that I'm in section 6 that troubles me.
Mr.
In this
Kruger,
amendment, it pushes
Mr. Kruger, if you can complete your remarks, please, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chair.
Mr. Kruger, if you can stay, we have a question for you. Senator Steinbeck.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Mr. Kruger, that you showed one of those vape products, and I was kind of astonished. It looked like it was a Minion, right, from the movies. Isn't that also a trademark problem? I mean, not only are we looking at an illegal product, but aren't we looking at a property rights violation here and legal issues that should also be addressed?
Mr. Vice Chair, to Senator Steinbeck, I'm not an attorney that delves in that area, but it would appear to me that anytime you use a likeness or a similarity to a product that's trademarked, that without permission, you are in violation of law.
Any other questions? Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Begin.
Chair Doniate, members of the committee, for the record, Leslie Pittman here on behalf of Jewel Labs today in support of Senate Bill 435. We appreciate Senator Cannizzaro for bringing this bill forward. It is imperative that alternative nicotine products introduced to the American marketplace be scientifically validated, made by manufacturers committed to following the law, and responsibly marketed and sold to adults who use nicotine and not to those under age 21. Unfortunately, today, illegal vapor products comprise over 60% of the U.S. electronic nicotine delivery system market. Nearly all come from China, as my friend Mr. Kruger indicated, where they are largely also illegal in China. U.S.-based manufacturers have spent billions of dollars investing in high-quality and rigorously tested devices and liquids. On the other hand, Chinese manufacturers of illicit products have made billions of dollars by evading FDA regulation while misbranding and mislabeling their products. Consumer confidence requires a well-regulated marketplace that ensures validated manufacturing, disclosed and consistent ingredients, technology that minimizes harmful or potentially harmful constituents found in tobacco products, inspections of manufacturing facilities and clinical study sites, and a high level of standards that adhere to the forthcoming tobacco product manufacturing standards. The FDA Center for Tobacco Products has the authority and technical expertise to create such a marketplace. In authorizing products for sale in the United States through its pre-market tobacco application pathway, the FDA must determine that these products are appropriate for the protection of public health. Juul Labs supports legislative efforts that create increased enforcement to give adult consumers safer options to reduce harm through the creation of product directories. And so we urge your support of Senate Bill 431. I just want to speak to that amendment that's been bandied about here just recently. Have not had the opportunity to review it, and neither has my client. So reserve commentary on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Las Vegas, please.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair Donate and members of the Senate Committee on Revenue and Economic Development. Senators Canizaro, Scheibel, and Stone, and Assembly Members Yeager, Jauregui, and Hardy. For the record, my name is Anna Wood, A-N-A-W-O-O-D. I'm Government Affairs Chair and member of the Board of Directors of the Las Vegas Asian Chamber of Commerce. We are in full support of Senate Bill 435. The invasion of illegal vapes in our schools and neighborhoods is a threat to our communities. It is time to strengthen our consumer protection, the safety of our children, and protect responsible businesses in the industry. I respectfully urge you to support SB 435 and vote to advance this important piece of legislation. Thank you for your consideration in this matter.
Thank you so much. Anyone else in Las Vegas? Let's go online. AVH.
If you'd like to testify in support of SB 435, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Caller with your last 3 digits of 367, please press star 6 to unmute yourself. You may begin. Caller with the last 3 digits of 367, can you check to see if your line is unmuted? Thank you.
Hi, this is Peter Guzman, President of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. First of all, we are in full support of SB 435. For many of the reasons that were already mentioned, we echo those comments, but also because we believe that this provides a structure for those who do business the right way to do it the right way and be rewarded for that. But it also allows for those who are violators to be penalized. For those reasons and many more, the Latin Chamber of Commerce is in full support of SB 435, and we commend those who brought it forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Scott Cosby, and I'm here today on behalf of Cormark to urge you to support Senate Bill 435, the Nicotine Vapor Product Directory Bill in Nevada. Cormark employs over 340 Nevadans. We supply over 1,000 stores across the state and have a warehouse here in Las Vegas. Currently, many vapor products in the Nevada market are in violation of FDA rules and federal law. It is very challenging, if not impossible, for responsible wholesalers, retailers, and consumers to discern which products are compliant to be sold and which are not. The adoption of a vapor directory in Nevada will allow responsible distributors and retailers to know what products are compliant and what are not. In addition to protecting consumers, a vapor directory would facilitate an equal playing field for all distributors in the state and protect Nevada businesses from federal enforcement for unknowingly selling or distributing non-compliant products. Right now, we have no clarity and may be enforced against at any point. This proposal is good for Nevada because most distributors in our state want to abide by the rules, but we need a mechanism to understand what products are legal for sales and distribution. We do business in Louisiana where a nicotine vapor directory is already in place. We have seen a market change and believe that this directory is working well to help ensure that wholesalers and retailers are only selling compliant products. A vapor directory will provide wholesalers with the information needed to ensure that only compliant products are being distributed and can help wholesalers and retailers avoid FDA penalties. The proposed vapor directory will also fund equitable enforcement across the state. Directory fees and violation fines will help support the enforcement efforts needed to ensure that all distributors and retailers are only selling compliant products. An organized and regulated market will facilitate the long-term sustainability of a category that has been shown to be substantially less harmful than traditional combustible cigarettes. In conclusion, I urge you to support Senate Bill 435, a vapor directory in Nevada. This will create an even playing field for all distributors and retailers. Please provide industry members with the information they need to distribute and sell only compliant products and help fund the equitable enforcement of those efforts. Thank you for your time.
Members of the community, my name is Angelica. I am an assistant manager of a family-owned convenience store in Reno. I'm here today in support of Senate Bill 435. We are doing our best to be true to values in the vapor category. We work hard to ensure that age-restricted products, including vapor products, are only sold to adults 21 and over. I know from the 2024 National Youth Tobacco Survey that youth are much less likely to be using FDA-compliant vapor products. Keeping vapor products out of the hands of our youth matters deeply to me, but there is no clear way for me to know what products are compliant with FDA regulations and legal to be sold and what products are not. I am left hoping that I trust the right people and make the right decisions on what products to carry. Responsible retailers like me need an easy way to know what vapor products are legal to sell in their stores. Please support Senate Bill 435. It is good for Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you so much. AVH, we have time for one more virtually, please.
Caller with the last three digits of 721. Please press *6 to unmute yourself. Caller with the last three digits of 721. Please go ahead. You are unmuted.
Caller, please ensure that you are unmuted on your end.
Chair, this caller seems to be having trouble with the phone line. You have no additional callers wishing to testify in support at this time.
Thank you so much. If they end up calling back, just remind us so that as we're going through this process, and we'll let them come back in. Let's go ahead and move on to opposition testimony. If you're here for opposition, please come forward. If you can fill the seats, both here in Carson City and in Las Vegas. And we'll start here in Carson City. Please begin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Senate Committee on Revenue. My name is Brian Walker, Senior Vice President of the Retail Association of Nevada. On the whole, we appreciate the hard work that the Majority Leader has put into this. We certainly agree with the intent and where the direction is going. We We do think, as retailers, this information on what is in the directory, maybe not a Nevada-specific directory, but what products have been approved by the FDA is certainly information that you can find at the FDA. We do have some concerns with more of the logistics and how we're going to implement this, some of the effective dates, as well as some of the sell-through. We want to make sure that our retailers who were engaging in perfectly legal activity are no longer, and that they're able to get rid of their investment and transfer over to something else that allows them to continue to employ Nevadans and contribute to the economy.
Good afternoon. For the record, Chelsea Capro here on behalf of the Vapor Technology Association. We appreciate the opportunity to be here today and share the committee and sponsors' goal of having a safe, regulated industry which ensures products are properly labeled and marketed to adult consumers while ensuring vapor products stay out of the hands of youth. This bill in its current form not only does not do that, it would, albeit inadvertently, create a flavor ban and an illicit black market for vapor products, which the state will have no regulatory authority over, while shutting hundreds of Nevada's small businesses, costing over 1,400 Nevada residents their jobs and forcing law-abiding citizens back to combustible cigarettes. SB 435 would ban all products that the FDA has not authorized. To date, the FDA has authorized only 14 unique vaping products, all of which just happen to be owned by Big Tobacco. Thus, the bill would have a devastating impact on all the small businesses that don't sell this limited subset of products, making this bill the latest attempt by industry players to use the legislature to create their own business advantage. As of 2023, Nevada's independent and small business-driven vape industry has a total positive economic impact of nearly $300 million on Nevada's economy. This total economic loss includes harm to other Nevada industries that the vape industry supports. Recent research from Yale University discovered that in every state or municipality which banned flavor vaping products, cigarette smoking increased not only among adults but among youth. To be specific, vaping flavor restrictions lead to an additional 15 cigarettes sold for every one less 0.7 milliliter of vaping pods sold. To put a finer point on the issue, 71% of the increase in cigarette sales associated with ENDS flavor restrictions come from tobacco-flavored cigarettes. And this finding holds across cigarette product age profiles, including for brands disproportionately used by underage youth. So while this change will benefit cigarette companies, it will only hurt Nevada consumers and Nevada's public health. There is no question that the federal regulation that the Nevada legislature is being asked to endorse and enforce has faced intense scrutiny by federal courts. There are more than 80 lawsuits filed against the FDA for its unlawful implementation of the PMTA process and recent federal appellate court decisions which have declared the process illegal. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals declared unequivocally that the FDA's process is unlawful and opened its lengthy opinion with one stark statement. Over several years, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration set manufacturers of flavored e-cigarettes on a wild goose chase. To be clear, SB 435 in its current form does not include any measures to safeguard youth. VTA has consistently pushed for sensible regulation on the vapor products industry to safeguard small businesses and curb youth access and use. We endorse the national initiative to raise the legal age for purchasing, almost done, to 21, and commend the Nevada legislature for doing the same. We'd be happy to work on a piece of legislation that ensures the safety and security of e-liquid and vapor products, enforces compliance with appropriate standards for labeling, marketing, and product appearance, and ensures that e-liquids and vapor products are not targeted to appeal to minors.
Thank you. It's okay. Let's go down to Las Vegas, please. Please begin.
We would like to thank the members of the Committee on Revenue and Economic Development for allowing us to provide.
If you can please provide your name first and for the record, please.
My name is Alex Qureshi, CEO of Prime Supply Distro.
Okay, you can go ahead and proceed.
Prime Supply employs multiple employees in the state of Nevada. Any ban or limitation on access to vapor products directly jeopardizes the businesses that Nevada taxpayers have built and are still building, not to mention the consumers who are reliant upon vapor products as an alternative to combustible cigarettes. The purpose of SB 435 and the implementation of this bill would remove all competition from the electronic cigarette marketplace. The bill relies on the PMTA process to achieve its objectives. The PMTA process applies to tobacco products created after February 15, 2009, and it is not applied to cigarettes. A recent review of FDA marketing orders found that in the last 5 years, while the FDA has only approved a handful of e-cigarettes in tobacco flavor only, it has at the same time accelerated the introduction of 1,213 new combustible tobacco products, including 892 combustible cigarette products into the U.S. market. Simply put, the current PMTA process protects big tobacco by creating a de facto ban on e-cigarettes while leaving menthol and other combustible cigarettes in the marketplace. Further, the effects of removing flavored electronic cigarettes from the marketplace are devastating for public health. Per the CDC, 1 in 7 U.S. adults still smoke cigarettes, and 480,000 die from cigarettes, while another 8 million suffer from smoking-related illnesses every year. Cigarette smoking costs the United States $225 million in direct healthcare costs annually. To put finer point on the issue, 71% of the increase in cigarette sales associated with ENDS flavors restrictions come from tobacco-flavored cigarettes. Clearly, while increasing smoking will benefit those selling traditional cigarettes, it will hurt Nevada consumers and businesses. Finally, due to the economic loss caused by SB 435 due to the de facto ban on flavored vaping products, the state would lose over 1,500 jobs, $60 million in wages.
Sir, if you can go ahead and complete your remarks, please.
I'm almost done. Over $30 million in tax revenues. In conclusion, the SB 435 imposes a confusing regulatory scheme based on broken federal system, which would cause Nevada small businesses jobs and the state significant economic growth and tax revenues.
Thank you, sir. Let's move on to the next one in Las Vegas, please.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Shan Shabazz. Thank you, committee, for your hard work and giving us opportunity to put our case in front of you regarding this bill. We are against this bill. Such bill is current form will only allow giant tobacco company to control this industry and all small businesses will go out of business. We need a system where small businesses can be part of that industry and get approved. Till date, companies got their vape approved and all small companies' vapes being pending or being rejected. If this bill passes, will impact thousands of small businesses in Vegas to be closed and create huge number of unemployment, and only giant companies will be benefiting. We do need to establish some laws to regulate this industry, which we do agree, but not in a form of this law that only works for the bigger giant tobacco companies and create monopoly and kill small businesses. It always advertise health problem created by vaping and being discussed on media, but it was post-chase. Till date, there is none health study done on vaping side effect, and we know how harmful the cigarette smoking, which is proven over and over by studies. So as a member of vape business community, we do not support this bill. Thank you again for giving this chance. I respectfully urge you not to support this bill, which only benefit large tobacco businesses and kill small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to the next one in Las Vegas, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Surjit Singh. I'm here to speak against banning vapes, not because I profit for them, but because I have lived the difference they can make. I used to smoke Camel Lights daily. Over the years, it took a toll, shortness of breath, constant coughing, and worry about the long-term damage. Then I made the switch to a vaping. Today, my lungs are clear, I'm breathing is better, and feel healthier than I have been years. Vaping helped me quit cigarettes when nothing else worked. And on the top of that, I am saving money. Now I agree vaping should be regulated, especially when it comes to nicotine labels. We should have clear limits, child-proof packaging, and accurate labeling. Stronger regulation, protect consumer and keep products safe without removing them entirely. Banning vape would not solve the problem. It would drive user to unsafe black market product and hurt small businesses that follow the rules. Look at the states that they have tried ban and they lost millions in a tax revenue, and vaping did not stop. It just went underground. Let's not punish adults who are using vape to quit smoking. Instead, we should invest in a smart regulation education for young people and strict enforcements to keep product away from minors. I am living proof that vaping can change lives for the better. So let's regulate, not ban, and give others the same chance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else in Las Vegas? All right, AVH, let's go online, please.
If you'd like to testify in opposition to SB 435, please press *9 to take your place in the queue.
CYRUS, HOJJATY. I will echo the statements of the previous commentators. Please make things fair. Thank you. Yield. Thank you so much. Next call.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair Deontay and members of the Senate Committee. My name is Kendra Edwards for the record, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 435. On behalf of the American Heart Association, we urge you to reject this bill. Although we support efforts to prevent youth access to tobacco products, registry bills like Senate Bill 435 are not the solution. A product registry diverts attention and resources from policies that are proven to work, like strong tobacco retail licensing programs that fund enforcement, prevent underage sales, and close industry loopholes. We respectfully urge the committee to oppose Senate Bill 435 and instead pursue stronger, evidence-based policies that truly protect public health. Thank you for your time and consideration.
It says I'm unmuted. Now do I?
Please go ahead,
You're
caller.
unmuted.
Can everybody hear me? Hello?
Please proceed.
Yes, caller, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much, and I apologize. My name is Rich Marianos. I'm a retired assistant director with ATF and currently a professor at Georgetown University. I just want to echo my support for this bill, and I apologize it's on the other end of the spectrum due to the fact that I was having severe telephone issues. But what I would like to say is it's important to understand that this bill is designed to protect our youth and protect our community. It's very, very important that law enforcement have a seat at the table to enforce some of these laws that are across the board in violation of federal statutes. And a directory gives the state of Nevada and the ability to work with community members, schools, to get these dangerous products manufactured in China, manufactured by Chinese organized crime off our street that are plaguing our children. Very simply, as the gentleman put it when he went to the shops this weekend and showed you the predatory behavior towards our kids, it is just giving organized crime, border criminal activity like cartels that are bringing it across the into the United States an upper hand to the tune of they are making on the backs of our kids almost $300 billion a year. It's one of the most outstanding ideas you can put together in terms of public safety and protecting our kids by supporting this directory and giving law enforcement, schools, parents, community members the ability to do so. Please, please don't be fooled by the shops that are talking about the loss of jobs and oh, woe is me. If they're selling illegal products, get in compliance. There's over 50 different products that the FDA has granted authorization to allow to be sold legally for tobacco harm reduction. Please don't be fooled by products like grape ice or Puff Bar, Fruity Pebbles, all these different things that are being sold by these shops, manufactured in China and are illegal. I thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, I would be honored to answer them, or at any time, I will travel to the state to do a presentation to the dangers of these products and the underbelly of organized crime that's behind them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. That was just for the record in support. I did pause the time for testimony in opposition. So now, AVH, if we can continue, please.
Thank you, sir. Caller with the phone number ending in 447, please begin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Vice Chair Nyata and committee members. My name is Megan Bolter. I'm a public health law attorney that specializes in tobacco regulation at the local, state, and federal levels. Today, I represent the Nevada Tobacco and Smoke-Free Coalition, NTCSC, as a board member and respectfully submit opposition to SB 435. As such, NTCSC appreciates intentions to further limit youth exposure and access to tobacco products. However, e-cigarette, vapor, and/or manufacturer registries have shown no demonstrable impact on illegal tobacco sales, nor any health impacts with respect to youth use or initiation. In fact, they have pulled very precious funding from youth tobacco prevention and control programs. The FDA CTP already publishes a list of products that are authorized for sale in the U.S. This currently only includes 34 e-cigarette products, not e-cigarettes, products, meaning all the accessories as well, that have completed the pre-market authorization process, PMTA. That means you must go through the process in order to be authorized for sale and to qualify and cull the number of tobacco products available for sale in the U.S. State registries have traditionally been introduced as a means to evade the federal regulatory process and expand the number of products available for sale in individual states. For reference, in comparison to the 34 authorized products by the federal government, which is clarified in the FDA's tobacco debate database, which you can easily go see as a public record, Oklahoma's registry has over 12,000 products listed. Alabama has over 1,000, and Louisiana has over 472. They are inconsistent, many times illegible, and almost impossible to enforce. SB 435 would allow the sale of many non-authorized flavored disposable vapes made by American companies. The industry sponsors of this bill claim that American vapes, often still made in China, are either grandfathered in by the FDA, they are not, or that a pending approval status as described in Section 61B of this legislation makes them lawful. It does not. If you look closely, we are talking about authorizing products for sale that the FDA has yet to even review. And one of the supporters of the bill talked about that these products need to be validated by scientific analysis. Yes, this is what the FDA Center for Tobacco Products does and did now that they no longer have the same administrative overhead. Lobbyists claim that such is the case and that many of the products that are simply undergoing authorization are available for sale. And simply creating a list that lists products that have intended an application does not make a retailer, manufacturer, or distributor immune from federal prosecution for sale of those illegal products that do not have a marketing granted order. I will keep my comments short too, but I would love to dispel many of the unlawful claims made here. 6 days ago, the Supreme Court, led by Justice Alito, validated
Unfortunately,
the FDA's
you have reached time. If you want to send your testimony in writing
we
to the...
appreciate your consideration of our comments, and we strongly urge this committee. You gave many of those retailers a lot more time. I appreciate your consideration, and we strongly urge you to oppose this legislation.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next one, please, AVH.
Caller with the last 3 digits of 742, please press *6 on your phone to unmute yourself, and you may begin.
Hi, this is Malik Massey, small business owner in southern Las Vegas. I would like to echo my previous people that spoke. And if I may, the FTMA, that only has the big tobacco companies that have been approved by the FDA, as we pointed out. And with my 2 minutes, I wanted to address some concerns that I heard on the opposition side regarding children. We actually we enforce it and we get checked on. I actually would recommend that we get checked on more once a quarter and put in place. And that's able to be done with the tax dollars on the 30% increase that happened in January 2020. We can effectively make sure that no children are buying these vapes and protect them. But as far as the choice for flavor, and having to regard to the FDA list that has been delayed, that will cause businesses to crumble. And that is just, obviously, I know that's not the intention of the committee. I do appreciate the time, but it's something I would definitely urge to be reviewed and at this time not approved. Thank you, guys.
If you have recently called and would like to testify in opposition to SB 435, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, the public line's open and working. There are no additional callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to neutral testimony. If there's anyone that would like to testify in neutral on this bill, please come forward. Looks like we only have one. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. For the record, Teresa Benitez Thompson, Chief of Staff to Attorney General Ford. Here today, we've submitted amendment for the committee to review, Senate Committee Revenue and Economic Development. You'll see a theme throughout the language that we're proposing. We're hoping that it's coming in a friendly vein. We'll let others tell us if that's indeed so. But what we are essentially looking to do are three different things. So one is extend out the timelines of implementation across the different benchmarks that you see in the bill, so that we have a longer runway in order to make sure that we are doing this work, giving notice, and staffing up, and then engaging in these duties. So you'll see throughout the bill we're asking to essentially move everything out about a year's time is what you're seeing. Secondly, we're looking to align duties, obligations, and responsibilities between the Office of Attorney General and the Department of Taxation, just to mirror the process and the framework we have right now with the directory on tobacco. And so you'll see a number of spaces where in Section 8 forward, we're moving over some authority to Department of Taxation and the maintenance of the directory, because they maintain that tobacco directory of cigarettes right now at present. The other thing you're going to see that our amendment addresses is alignment of language to ensure that we are capturing those FDA approvals or making sure that language is reading right in terms of how at the enforcement side we would like it to read, so that it's clear to us on what we're looking for and who's going to be added to the directory, what kinds of certificates we're going to be asking for in order for people to be added to that initial directory. There are a couple places as well where we are looking to increase the fines, just so that we can, the fees and fines, so we can hopefully make this with a goal of making this program a little bit more self-supporting, although I don't think we'll entirely get there. So in Section 6, that's where you'll see some adjustment there, as well as in Section, I think it's 10 as well. The one thing I do want to notice, Section 14. Section 19, you'll likely see that reinstated. We're having conversations right now, and we'll continue to have conversations on right-sizing this language, making sure this language works to bill sponsors' intent, and also with our partners in the Department of Taxation on this work. But 19 is the youth enforcement, and I think at one point we were thinking that standing up the directory would be kind of the big goal, and then bringing on youth enforcement. But we'll make sure that we have that language included, so that there's consideration for that youth enforcement piece as intended in the original bill as well. And we're open for questions.
Doesn't look like we have any questions. I have one, but I'll take it offline. So, yeah, thank you. Any else in neutral? Seeing none here or in Las Vegas AVH, is there anyone online?
If you'd like to testify in neutral for SB 435, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, our public line is open and working. There are no callers wishing to testify in neutral at this time.
Thank you so much, Senator Canizaro. Majority Leader, do you have any closing remarks?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Nicole Canizaro, Senate District 6. So a couple of things. First and foremost, with respect to the Attorney General's proposed amendment, we do consider that to be a friendly amendment. We are working through some of the pieces of that to hopefully get that amendment to a place where we would be ready to submit it to the committee. I do think it's going to alleviate some of the concerns that you have heard today, but I don't think have had a chance to sort of finalize that for today's presentation, but certainly appreciate Chief of Staff Benitez Thompson for all of her hard work on this. And I think that we're going to be able to get there with adopting most of what you see in that conceptual amendment that was submitted today. With respect to a couple of things I just wanted to highlight, I do think that this bill is seeking to provide some regulation and enforcement where there currently is none. And I think that that's an important piece to highlight. This is unlike tobacco products that are currently regulated and for which we have similar regulatory schemes, and so it shouldn't be too overly burdensome to be able to comply with something. And certainly we're happy to work with anyone who would like to work on the logistics of that regulatory scheme. But I think the whole point of what is presented in Senate Bill 435 is an attempt to regulate something that is currently not being well regulated. And I think that was certainly demonstrated today from some of the examples that you heard and saw from folks who presented and from Mr. Kruger in particular. That is a choice that this committee has to make. That is a choice that this body has to make, to either continue to allow it to be a completely unregulated item or to provide some parameters for what that looks like. I think that what is proposed in Senate Bill 435 is a very reasonable and pragmatic way to go about that. Within the bill, there are parameters. These are items that have been approved through the FDA process, are in the process of approval, or for some reason would not fall within the parameters of requiring FDA approval. That is the very least that I think we can ask of manufacturers who are manufacturing, distributing, and profiting from these products that are being sold to Nevadans. And so if we can put some parameters in place to help make sure that folks are being kept as safe as possible in those situations, even in as much as it concerns youth that might be using this, I think we have an obligation and a duty to do so, and that is what this is an attempt to do. With respect to this idea that this is banning vapes or that somehow we will see no products offered or only 4 or 5, I think that is belied by even some of the testimony that you have heard today. In Louisiana, for example, where they have implemented a directory, we heard testimony today, and I believe that there are many products on that market, upwards of 380 different vapor products that are currently within the directory that are being regulated, that have been approved, and that are available for purchase and for use. We are not talking about this being a bill that is designed to allow for only 1 or 2 things to be sold on the market. This is something that is meant to put parameters in place, and when we see this work in other places, there are a number of items that are included in these directories and that are being well regulated, and I think that that is what we are trying to do. And so I don't think that this idea that somehow implementing this results in the shuttering of tons of small businesses or the unavailability of these products whatsoever is just sort of belied by the actual real world examples that we have. And so obviously we're going to keep working on this and hope to bring you a conceptual amendment that addresses some of the concerns that you have heard today to the extent that we're able to address those. I just want to thank the committee for your time and attention and for everyone being here to voice their opinions both in support and in opposition of this bill. So thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your presentation. I'm going to go ahead and close the hearing on this bill, and which brings us to our last agenda item, which is public comment. So if there's anyone that would like to provide public comment at this time, feel free to come forward. I don't see anyone here in Carson City and no one in Las Vegas. AVH, is there anyone online?
If you would like to provide public comment, please press *9 now to take your place in the queue. Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working. There are no callers wishing to provide public comment at this time.
Thank you so much. That concludes the work of today, and we appreciate everyone for coming, and we look forward to seeing everyone on Thursday. Meeting's adjourned.